What's going on, guys? It's Naka the Barber Guide here with an official tutorial on how to do a mid skin tight fade wave length. Let's get it started. I have my client sitting down in the chair here. What I want to do first is do a decent comb through of his scalp, make sure there aren't any deficiencies. Also, you can check the texture of the hair, flakes, or anything such like that. Let's move on here. I'm setting my initial guideline to begin the fade. As you can see, I'll do it thoroughly around the whole scalp. And once that is done, you can pretty much begin balling out underneath. And as you can see, I'll continue balding out. Once most of that's gone, the line doesn't have to be completely even all the way around. We'll straighten that out when we come back around and begin on the fade. I have the wall shavers here. I'll come back in and I'll bald out, get it nice and baby smooth. Moving on, now that I had done a thorough comb through on the top, I'm using a 1.5 guard on top. My client wants to keep it thick yet wave length. And as you can see, there are some pretty waves on top. And I will begin the hairline. Crazy, right? No. This process, skipping the fade and doing the hairline first, cuts so much more time out of the fade. So once you get that initial hairline set in, we'll go ahead and then begin on the fade. Fabulous remind me of the Masters. It's perfect for pulling out those bottom lines or touching up. And since I've gone all cordless here, they're pretty much my Masters, and I'm not going to pay that steep price for the Masters. So Fabulous pretty much took their spot. All right, so after I began pulling out that bottom line with my Fabulous, as you can see, I use the open lever all the way, and it's got all the nicks in there, the notches in there on the Fabulous to help you fade it. I won't go about an inch into the fade, guys. Again, I won't go up but about an inch into the fade. So once you begin doing that, you can follow the notches on the Fabulous, and eventually when you get down to the bottom, it should pull that bottom line out. I move on to my Speedo guide here, which is initially a 1 guard, the 00 guard. It's one of my favorite guards. Helps me fade and pretty much speeds the process up. So once the fade comes into place, ladies and gentlemen, I come in with my 0 guard and I will notch out that last little bottom line, any inefficiencies I see right there at the bottom. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with touching up your fade. I like to come in and touch up that last bottom line down there. If I see any deficiencies or anything like that, I touch it up. I will begin fading it out and ensure that when I fade the back of the scalp, it has to match that first side that I faded, or you're pretty much a beginner barber. You don't know what you're doing. Pay attention to those details. Don't leave it untouched. Don't just do things and not come back and perfect it. The fading process is pretty much the same on the back, and I'll follow through on the side. All right, guys, let's come back in and finish up that hairline. All right, now I'm coming in over here on the sideburns. I'm fading his sideburns out, the tip of his sideburns. I see a lot of barbers missing this step. I didn't use any guards. I just like to do a little freehand flick out at the lower bottom, and then the higher I get up to the tip of the sideburn, I get closer and I flick out using the levers and the notches on the babblist. We'll go ahead and begin lining up the end of the sideburn there, leading into his beard. And as you can see, we're going to shape that beard off round. Comb through to his mustache, and we'll start lining that up as well. He likes it nice and thin. And as you can see, I'm going over the hairline again. It's not completely perfect, but it is nice and sharp. I will add the enhancements of the Kiss dye. As you can see now, I will use my compressor gun to spray that in his hairline. Also will do the enhancement in his beard. But you gotta ensure the quality of the haircut before you start adding the enhancements. Like I said, you don't want your client to go home and shower and this stuff comes out after they've had a nice day with it and the haircut is trash. You know, that's a nightmare for barbers. You don't want those issues. Ensure that your client has a 5-star haircut before you add these enhancements. It's fine to go back through and notch that line up again, the beard and the hairline all together. We're gonna catch those excess hairs on his hairline that the trimmers didn't get, and pretty much get it pretty much as bald as possible to the scalp as I can. I ask him to blow his beard up and blow his cheek up here. That gives me better access to the line on his beard, and I can make it as sharp as possible with that Turkish razor there. We're gonna go ahead and clean up underneath his chin. This is pretty much self-explanatory. When I like to get a nice roundabout underneath there, I like to keep it on the jawline. He likes it on the jawline. Looks nice and good here. As you can see, we were having a good conversation. Get it nice and bald down there before I come back with the shavers. He did have some issues with his skin. His skin was very sensitive from using a razor prior, so he had minor bumps. Those are some things that as a barber you will run across often with clients, but you know, usually do your best to avoid it. Do your best to also make them feel as good as possible. It's Snake the Barber got here. I hope you guys really enjoyed the content. Check out this mid-skin fade, wave length on top. Hey, until then guys, more content coming soon. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Naka the Barber God, I'm out.